Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm here with Matthew and Siavash. We are the developers of Intertwined, and this is Dev Diary 1. Intertwined is a game set in a post-apocalyptic environment where all of society has been obliterated by a nuclear apocalypse. You play as one of the survivors in this environment. As the player, you spawn in with virtually nothing and are forced to fight against the odds to survive in this new, bold world. At first, your sole purpose might be as simple as surviving. You gather basic resources and simply manage on your own. However, as the game progresses, you might choose to go beyond and rebuild the world that once was. You can set off to build vast cities and alliances, building your own perfect world.
Intertwined features an interesting and in-depth resource gathering system. There are two main methods of gathering, chopping trees and mining rocks and ores. With regards to tree gathering, we set out to make it feel like you are really shaping the world and your environment. A tree that is chopped will not regrow. Having this really makes it feel like you are part of this environment and world. If you want to build a settlement, you have to clear an area out first to do so. Our rock resource gathering won't be as simple as destroying a rock and finding the contents inside. Different areas will house different ores, and different ores will be useful to craft different things in the game. Different areas of the map will have different resources of different uses. You won't be able to get one thing as easily as another. When starting off, you might simply need to just grab a few resources off a cliffside, but later, the resources may be next to useless, and you may need to venture deep into a cave to advance further in the game. Ore gathering won't be as basic as just walking up to rocks and chopping at them for a minute. Although you may start the game like that, the methods of gathering evolve as well. Eventually, you may want to place an excavation drill to gather stuff you need, because you may be busy protecting your settlement from other dangers. As well as gathering resources such as rocks and trees, you'll need to gather your basic survival needs as well. You will still need to scour the land for food and water, searching old abandoned towns for primary survival needs, because after all, this is a survival game.
The game world is filled with interesting NPCs, both known and unknown. We have a wide variety of animals, each with unique behaviors and characteristics, which can each provide their own resources to the player to provide to their initial basic needs. We are also working on adding a wide spectrum of unusual creatures and mutants, which are one of the byproducts of the nuclear fallout, that was bestowed on the world. We believe these can add a dynamic challenge to the game and also induce a horror aspect toward the game.
For example, some mutants might attack player settlements or even abduct sleeping players in the night. On top of that, we are also currently working on adding a highly unique survivor NPC system. In single player, there will be potentially hundreds of NPCs that spawn into the world just like the player, having the exact same goal as the player. They start with nothing, they loot, craft, and create, exactly like the player does. This means that in single player, players can potentially find multiple other cities created by NPCs, which they can interact, trade, or even go to war with.
Now we're going to move on to settlements. Envision creating a settlement, or maybe supporting one. By creating a settlement, you are therefore the manager of the settlement. As the manager of a settlement, you can invite members to join, kick members, or even punish members, maybe even throw them in jail. The whole idea of a settlement is to work toward a collective and cooperative goal. The members of the settlement would help consolidate the economic infrastructure and diplomatic relations in order to expand the borders and spread the faction's name. So what are some of the things you can do with the settlement other than the management of members and diplomatic relations with other settlements? Well, you can enhance your settlement's income or broaden its perk availability for special advantages. Many buildings are currently being worked on. For example, the bank or the storage unit, which will allow members of that settlement to store belongings. But remember to defend your settlement because nothing is ever safe and intertwined. Another building that is also being worked on is the idea of having a market that will increase the income of the settlement. Imagine building a trade post, allowing caravans to travel in between settlements to transfer goods. Maybe you want to deplete your enemy's economic infrastructure by ambushing their caravans. The possibilities are vast in the world of Intertwined. As the game advances, you can upgrade your technology to eventually build potential futuristic utopias. When you begin the game, the settlements and cities you make will be very basic and simple. However, as you progress, you can discover new technologies and advance your buildings in different ways. For example, you might discover technology that leads you to society like the one we live in today, or maybe you might find yourself moving toward more of a steampunk type future. The choice is yours.
That's it for this video, guys. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We're going to hopefully post a blog once a week or so, or as much as we can. And that's it for this time. Goodbye.